I've been, I've been waiting for someone like you, yeah. I've been waiting. Why am I singing? What's up, guys? Pypo here, bringing you a video today of me hitting the late 5. My pet's on passive. I'm already fucking up. I'm getting stunned and shit. Fucking silenced. Level 85 came, started questing. Fucking Mike does not like that I got to level 85 within like 2 days. He wants to come camp me. Fortunately for me, he doesn't have a horde character, so I'm gonna keep questing. Just a quick tip before I start getting into the story I want to talk about. A lot of you guys probably do know this because it's pretty like common knowledge now. But when you get to Pandaria, you're gonna have shit gear, obviously, and usually what you have to do is then quest to get the gear required to say do a dungeon or just even complete these quests. It's like a lot harder using this shitty gear. And if you're like me, you had BOA, you immediately need to switch that out. So what you need to do is go to this part right up here. So Dawn's Blossom. Dawn's Blossom has a gear vendor. And you can just buy all 372 gear from there. So just go replace all your shit and you get 372. That way you'll be doing a lot better. I need to get some soul shards here. I don't know what I'm doing. But anyway, the topic of this video is going to be kind of a fucked up story. Because I know how much you guys like my fucked up stories. I recently started talking to a girl, which is not that strange for me. I talk to a lot of girls. I also get rejected a lot. But that's what you... If you guys have done the dating game, you know how it works. You get rejected 50% of the time. 50% of the time, it goes further. Out of that 50%, probably about 30% actually turns into something. That's the way it works. At least for a guy like me, who I just don't give a fuck. I think a lot of guys, the problem with them is they try to change themselves too much for the girl. Man, I could not do that if I tried. If, like, when I'm talking to a chick, I'm myself 100%. I've never in any way not been myself. And because of that, I find that I weed out the weird ones, basically, just by doing that. You know, just by being myself, the girls who naturally probably wouldn't like me that much, they get weeded out because I'm myself from the start, you know what I mean? I don't have to go through a whole process of, like, them meeting me and then finding out that they don't like me. And man, my thoughts are doing fuck all. What the fuck? I need to turn off my pet's mesmerize and just let him do damage because I need some damage up in this bitch. Anyway, so basically that happened. Talked to a girl, got to know her. Didn't talk to her that much. Just kind of like shot shit with her, which if you guys know what that means, I thought everyone knew what shooting shit means. But I told my friends that phrase yesterday, and they're like, "What the fuck does shooting shit mean?" Shooting shit is just like talking about random shit. So I'd never even talked to her about anything like important. It was just like fucking talking absolute smack. I think we talked about this is the most random shit in history, which is kind of like it made me like her more because it's like this isn't like a serious thing. Makes me like it makes the conversation more enjoyable. But anyway, she happens to live say an hour away from me, 30 minutes away from me, and then she for some reason on that day was gonna be near me. So of course she asked if she wanted to hang out with me. Immediately I was reluctant because I don't like to put myself in a situation where I don't know the girl enough, and I also know nothing about her. But I initially said, yeah, alright, let's hang out. Because fuck it, I may as well go, right? And so I go, and I'm actually just pulled this guy for no reason. So I go meet this girl. Well, I'm going to go meet this girl, and then she messaged me again saying, like, I have this buddy with me who needs directions because we don't know where we're going. And I'm like, wait. Who's this buddy? I thought I got a 2-for-1 deal and I might have been able to pull off a threesome. That's what I was thinking. But unfortunately, it's some dude friend of hers. I'm not going to name any of these guys, by the way, just because, I mean, in any occurrence, if you guys ever found these videos, that'd be super fucking weird. I don't think that could ever possibly happen. But just in case, and out of respect for them, I'm not going to, like, mention names. So let's call it Jane and Bob, for the sake of names. So Jane tells me she's got a friend Bob with her. I'm like, who the fuck's Bob? Who the fuck is Bob? What is Bob doing driving you around and shit? Like, you're old enough to have a license. Why don't you drive yourself? She explains to me he doesn't have a license. Needs to get a lift. The reason she's out this way is to visit him because they're good friends and all this kind of shit. Whatever the fuck. I wasn't listening anyway, but because by the time when she told me she was with some guy named Bob, I was like, well, fuck this. I'm not going. And I actually went to bed. Now this is when the red flags started popping up. This is when I should have personally noticed something horrible in the pattern of like communication that was happening here, which was she started basically being the overly attached girlfriend without me even being in a relationship with her. She called me like 5 times. I answered the 5th time to be like, what the fuck? And then after I got off the phone, noticed I had like 17 messages on my phone and like 17 messages on my Facebook. And I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. But for some reason, that wasn't enough for me to say no. And her talking to me on the phone, I hadn't actually talked to her on the phone before. But so talking to her, she sounded cute. She had a cute voice. So I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. She's convinced me now to go meet up with her and a friend fucking Bob down at the beach. It's fucking like 1 in the morning, 1 a.m. I fucking gotta get Steve up and put Steve outside. The poor cunt's fucking all tired and shit. It's cold outside. He has to go out the back. Put him out. And, and I fucking go down to the beach. When I get to the beach, I didn't realize, because I've never been to the beach in my life when it's like 1 in the morning. I never realized that it's always apparently fucking pitch black there for some fucking reason. So I have to like park on the road, sort of, and like luckily for me, there's like the wood panels that stop people from driving bikes up into the beach. And I just sit down on one of those and I wait for like 5 minutes. She messages me, she's at the wrong beach, blah 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 blah. Eventually they find where I am. They park the car, and they get out. I say what's up. We sit down, we start talking. Immediately, when I say immediately, I mean fucking immediately. I recognize that this is this is not. Somehow this person that I would not usually get along with has slipped through my process of meeting women, and like is completely like I'm not trying to talk shit about her, but it was just completely not the right person for me. Like she wasn't young, but she was like basically spoke young, and she like was immature and like was actually like she talked like she wanted to be a gangster or some shit, which she didn't talk like that on the phone. She didn't message me like that, but she talked like it, and just her body language, and she was way too like forward. Like literally, the conversation went from me talking to like just polite stuff. Hey, how's it going? Fucking, I haven't met her before, so I'm trying. I don't know what the boundaries are. You know what I mean? So I'm like trying to like just gauge from her, and that quickly turned into fucking her talking about fapping to pictures of me and shit. That's literally where the conversation went, which made it super fucking awkward for me. And but lucky for me, Bob was there. Lucky for me, Bob was there. So Bob starts talking to me as well, in between like these awkward silences. And Bob is a fucking funny cunt. I never met Bob in my life, never even heard of this guy Bob. Bob's fucking funny. Bob's talking about shit. Bob's talking shit. Bob's talking about whatever the fuck comes to Bob's mind. And me and Bob end up shooting shit for like 10 minutes. This apparently pissed off Jane because I wasn't talking to her, which is understandable. She came here to see me and I'm talking to Bob. And she like grabs him by like the scruff of his shirt and whispers in his ear. I didn't know what she said until later, but she told him to basically fuck off and give us some privacy. So Bob fucks off because apparently he's a good friend of hers, listens to what she says. And then I sit down and start talking to her. And immediately I started asking her about Bob and like why do you have like this really older dude? Like he was a lot older than she was. Why do you have like this a lot older dude driving you around and shit? Like what the fuck's going on with this? And then she proceeded, and before I even say anything, let me know in the comments when you hear me say this, if this is something like you would do, if I'm just being a pussy, if it's not me being a pussy, just me being like a decent guy. I felt like I was being a decent guy when I did this. So she starts to explain to me how Bob is like has had a huge crush on him for like fucking 2 years, I think she said. And Bob has like fucking proposed to her, that she never took him seriously, and how that she keeps him around anyway because he's always there to like help her out and stuff when she needs, and if she ever needs money, he gives it to her, and he's always there, and he's always like trying to like get in with her and shit. But he's super. This is her saying this stuff. She's like, he's super polite, so I like to keep him around, and he can do stuff with me. And I'm like, well, have you let him know that nothing's fucking gonna happen? And she's like, oh yeah, he knows. And like, and she's like, obviously he knows if he's bringing me to like see you and shit. I was like, yeah, fair enough, but it's kind of fucked up that you just kind of string him along to get him to do shit for you. And then she says, she continues to talk about how Bob and her like met each other, and then she goes into like this. I don't know if I should talk about this. Well, they're never gonna see it. Basically, she describes how Bob's best friend died in like a car accident. And I'm not trying to talk shit about anyone. Like, I'm super sorry this happened to you, dude, if you ever see this. Describes how he, like, happened in a car accident. And then once that happened, he kind of clung onto her and was, like, emotional and shit. And after that, and she just kept him around, basically. Kept him around for her own, like, purposes. And, like, to keep him, like, giving her money and like being her best friend. And she said like she treats him like a gay best friend, even though it's like a super one-sided thing where he like loves her and shit. And he's explaining how like before they came to meet me, she asked him like how she looked, and he was like, "Oh, you always look beautiful to me, and I love the way you look and shit like this." And the fact that I'm sitting there talking to this chick that I've never met before, and we're talking about a guy who's literally just like down the street now, walking around in the dark because she told him to do it, and it's a guy that I've met and just talked 10 minutes to, and he seems like a decent bloke. I was like, this is fucked up. I was like, this is a situation that if I was Bob, I'd be fucking pissed off, and I would not want this to be happening. I mean, if I was Bob, I wouldn't be sitting there taking this shit. And if like if Jane was being a fucking cunt like this, I would have just told her to go fuck herself. That's what I would have done. But obviously, that's not Bob. Bob's a nice guy. So I immediately say to her, I'm tired. I think I'm gonna go home. And she said something along the lines of, I didn't come all the way down here just to talk. That's what she said to me. So basically this chick is saying, here's my vagina, I'm throwing it at your face. Here, like, just take my pussy. That's what she's saying to me in the middle of this fucking park in 1 in the morning. And it was tempting because she's not a like shitty looking chick. She was like pretty good looking. But it didn't sit right with me at all. So I stood up and I'm like, no, I'm gonna leave. Unlocked my car, sat down, and she's like, oh, you're not even gonna give me a hug? And the last thing I said to her was, I was about to say his name then, I gotta remember to call him Bob. The last thing I said to her was, stop fucking around Bob. And then she's like, what do you mean? I said, I would rather fuck Bob than you. That's what I said. I don't know why that's what came to my mind. I said I would rather fuck Bob than you. And then just closed my door and drove off. And I was thinking that would be the last I ever heard of this chick. I was thinking that would be like the last time anything would happen. I was hoping that the fact that this guy that she liked being me would, like, the fact that I fucking left in that fashion would mean that she'd realize she's doing something wrong or being a bitch. I don't fucking know what I thought would happen. Either way, I didn't want to be there anymore because she was fucking weird and fucking around with this poor guy. So, I leave, and the next day comes around. I have 2 good mates. I have 3 good mates. I have 3 good mates that I play WoW with, have played WoW with for a very long time. And I tell them this. And it's kind of like a long-running thing that one of my mates is really good at, like, impersonating other people that he knows. And really good at at keeping a phone call and a story together. And he says to me, give me your number and I'll pretend to be you. Now, obviously, I have a very deep voice. The guy who's saying this has not a high voice, but it's not a deep voice. He doesn't sound anything like me, pretty much. Not to mention that I have like a fucking American accent, as you can hear me right now. He doesn't. He's in like thick Australian accent. So I say to him, there's no way she would believe it's me. And this turned into a bit of a bet. And eventually, I had to agree to it. Well, I didn't have to, but I was convinced that there was no way she would think it was me. And even if she did think it was me, because of what had happened last night, she wouldn't want to talk to me. So I was like, fuck it, here's a number, call her, see what happens. I bet you she doesn't believe it's you. He calls up. Within the first 3 seconds of the phone call, within like 5 words, he's already convinced her it's me. And he's already apologized. I should have known he would have done this because he's a cunt. I should have known he would have done this. He's already apologized for the previous night and said, I'm really sorry, I was just super tired. I didn't mean anything I said. I'm sitting here on fucking vent listening to this and just rubbing my temple like, holy fucking shit. He's negating all the effort I put in last night, like telling this bitch to basically go fuck herself. He's negated all that. And he sits there, and I'm not kidding, has like a 20-minute conversation with her. A 20-minute conversation with her. And then says something along the lines of, I need to go shit my pants, because he's pretending to be me. He doesn't give a fuck what he says. I need to go shit my pants. B, call me back. So he leaves. Then of course, when she goes to call him back, she calls my phone. So I'm sitting there, and I let it ring for a little bit because I didn't know how the fuck to handle the situation. But I wanted to make it obvious that it wasn't me calling her. I didn't want it to know it was like my friends either. I didn't know. I should have just manned up and said like, oh, sorry, I gave your fucking number to some people. But basically, what I said was she called me. I said I haven't been calling you. I don't know who's calling you. I thought I made it pretty clear last night that I didn't want to speak to you. She's like, yeah, but you kind of confused me. And then I said on the phone, and I felt like an asshole afterwards. Well, hopefully this isn't confusing. I don't want to talk to you anymore. Like, don't ever like talk to me again. I said something along the lines of that. Hung up the phone. Immediately on vent, I hear the same friend pick up the phone, call her, she answers, and he says, lol jokes, I was just kidding, and she believes him 100%. Oh, so now I have to sit on vent for for another like 30 minutes while I listen to this guy talk about the most random putrid shit. He made up a story. This is how elaborate this guy is. He made up a story about how I have two gay fathers and how I'm super like sexually confused and shit. That's legit what he was talking to her about. And the fucked up thing is, because she was so like into me for, I don't even know why she was so into me. She was into me like crazy. Because she was so into me, she was just accepting everything he said. She was just eating it up like it was fucking pancakes in the morning. She loved that shit. And I couldn't even believe it, like hearing it myself. I was like, how does this girl? I don't understand how anyone likes someone that much when I haven't even talked to you. I haven't even like spent that much time with you. But apparently my friend does a really good impression of me because she just ate that shit up like crazy. And so began a long, probably like an hour-long thing of him calling her back. Eventually, my other friends called her in between because they were convinced anyone could talk to her and she'd still think it was me. And they were they were 100% correct. They legit, I had like 3 different people they called her because obviously they split the fucking number amongst themselves without even asking me, like cunts. And all 3 of them called her. And all 3 of them have completely different voices to me and to each other, and she believed each and every one was me. They talked about the most random shit. I'm pretty sure the conversation got into diarrhea at one point, which was fucking fantastic. And then eventually I had to like get on Facebook and message her saying, you know, I'm not calling you right now. I've just learned that my friends have your number. They took it off my phone. I was basically talking shit because I gave it to them, but I said they took it off my phone. It's not me. And then on the fucking vent, like I can hear the conversation they're having. She reads it out to my friend on the phone and is like, "Lol," as if I would believe you. And this went on for about an hour until one of my other friends called up and put it like had a go with him. His girlfriend's sister was there, and he got his girlfriend's sister to say something on the lines of, "Can you stop calling my boyfriend?" And then I guess because it was a female voice, she finally believed that it wasn't fucking me. And then stopped taking the phone calls and stopped thinking it was me. For fuck's sake. This is basically two cautionary tales here. 1, don't trust your fucking asshole friends because they're just going to do whatever the fuck they want and fuck you over. That's just what they're going to do. They don't give a fuck. Number 2, don't go meet girls that you don't know anything about because they're going to have a friend named Bob that they're fucking over. I mean, that's just the way it is. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll probably bring you some more mop leveling in a little bit. Let me know if you would have done the same thing as far as like leaving. I just couldn't sit there and like have this guy Bob like walking down the street while I'm sitting there talking to the girl that he likes. You know, I couldn't do it emotionally, and like it just didn't sit right with me. You know what I mean? Let me know if I did the right thing. If not, if you think I should have just fucked it right there and then on the beach, let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good day. Have a lovely year. And I'll see you later. Thanks, guys.